Here we go. The episode begins with this old guy urgently writing a letter and sending it off with the Raven. That letter probably has so many typos. Then, green-eyed guy wakes up Weird Raven Kid and tells him he's taken Winterfell. I already knew that this happened because I saw episode 8 of this season. Weird Raven Kid is like, you woke me up, jerk, get out of my room. And green-eyed guy tells him that he has taken Winterfell and he's fighting for his dad now. So green-eyed guy and sexy jawline guy must have gotten into some kind of fight recently to make green-eyed guy want to switch sides like this. Weird Raven Kid has a big meeting outside to tell everybody that green-eyed guy has taken Winterfell. Everybody's outside in the rain getting wet. They're all like, it's raining out here. Can we please do this inside? This beefy fella tells green-eyed guy that he'll only serve the Starks, and one of green-eyed guy's men smacks him in the head with a stick. Green-eyed guy insists that he's super nice and they'll all love him if they treat him with respect. Oh my gosh! Sideburn Ponytail gets dragged inside all bloody and beaten. He was fighting off green-eyed guy's men before he got captured. This guy is as loyal as he is ridiculous looking. Fun fact about Sideburn Ponytail's hair. One sideburn represents the Starks, the other sideburn represents him, and they're tied together to represent that he loves the Starks. That's in the books. Sideburn Ponytail tells green-eyed guy what everyone is thinking, that he's an idiot betraying the family that raised him. I guess green-eyed guy is mad that Papa Stark didn't treat him more like his son, so that's why he's having this identity crisis and fighting for his real dad. Green-eyed guy is yelling at Sideburn Ponytail, and Sideburn Ponytail spits right in his face. Green-eyed guy tells his men to take him to a cell, but this guy with a crazy voice tells green-eyed guy that he needs to kill Sideburn Ponytail. There's no way that that's that guy's real voice.
You cannot let that stand, he must pay.
Green-eyed guy says that he sentences Sideburn Ponytail to death. Weird Raven Kid begs him to stop, but green-eyed guy is trying to prove to his men that he's tough. So he makes Sideburn Ponytail kneel down and he beheads him. Except it takes like 5 swings to chop his head off, which is probably really embarrassing. So I think I figured green-eyed guy out. He's not some weird, complex character that has a bunch of layers. He's actually just a really, really stupid person. Like I thought, oh, he's confusing, he must be so complicated. But really, he just does whatever anybody tells him because he can't think for himself, because he's a big honkin' idiot. Also, when does he lose his penis? We cut to Bastard King out beyond the wall with a group of night watchmen. They're looking for wildlings, and this is totally what leads to Bastard King getting captured and imprisoned by the wildlings like I see in episode 8. Bastard King's wolf is just wandering around alone like me at a party. Then we cut to Daddy Lannister yelling at this guy because he can't read. Young Sad Girl is Daddy Lannister's wine pourer because apparently these people drink so much wine that someone's full-time job is just to refill their cups. I wish I had somebody to do that for me, but with ice cream. Daddy Lannister seems to like Young Sad Girl, but as we know, Young Sad Girl runs away in episode 8 when she finds out Daddy Lannister is planning an attack on Sexy Jawline Guy. Then Rat Assistant walks in. Oh no! He'll definitely recognize Young Sad Girl, right? Rat Assistant tells Daddy Lannister about Short King getting killed by woman with red hair's smoke demon baby. Young Sad Girl keeps trying to hide her face from Rat Assistant, but then she spills wine on him. He tries to look at her, but she keeps turning her back on him. We cut to Bastard King and his group sneaking up on some wildlings and attacking them. One of the wildlings tries running away, but Bastard King shoves them on a rock and takes off their hood. And it's Savage Lady. Bastard King is like, whoa, a girl! I haven't seen one of these in like a year. They question Savage Lady and decide they can't afford to keep her alive. Bastard King says that he'll kill her and everyone just walks away and leaves him to it. Well, this is quite an interesting way to meet your future girlfriend. Whatever happened to meeting in a bookstore or on Tinder? Bastard King hesitates and Savage Lady yells at him to kill her. He swings his sword down, but it misses her. Well, that's no way to impress a lady. Savage Lady gets up and runs away and Bastard King chases her. This has to be what gets him captured. He's able to tackle her and hold her down, but now he's far away from his friends. We cut to Short-Haired Queen's daughter on a boat, leaving Short-Haired Queen and Peter Dinklage. I think she's heading to Poison Lips country, and Short-Haired Queen is blaming Peter Dinklage for some reason. I don't think I know why Short-Haired Queen sends her daughter away, but if I had to guess, I'm pretty sure it's to marry her to somebody for an alliance. Jeffrey is being an absolute butthole to Red-Haired Queen, which is probably a sentence I could say in literally every episode. They're walking along and all these poor people all seem to really hate Jeffrey. Good for you guys! I think these people know that Jeffrey isn't Chubby King's son somehow. When did that happen? Then someone throws poop at Jeffrey's face. I am loving this rowdy group of poor people right now. Like if I had to pick a group of friends in this show, I'd totally pick these guys. They start rioting and fighting the guards. What happened? Why are all these people so angry? Like, I get why they're angry. They have an awful child king and everybody else in charge is also awful, except for Peter Dinklage. But what made them snap like this? Jeffrey tells his guards to execute everybody, and the angry mob grabs this holy-looking man in robes and they rip his arm off. What? How did a group of malnourished-looking people with no weapons tear a human's arm right off of his body? That's not just something you can do with people. I'm willing to suspend my disbelief for dragons and magic in this show, but ripping somebody's arm off is crossing the line. Somehow in the scrum, red-haired queen loses her guards and she gets chased down a dark tunnel by a group of men. Then we see Peter Dinklage yelling at Jeffrey for being an idiot. Ah, so these people are starving because Jeffrey started a war, and that's why they hate him. Peter Dinklage slaps Jeffrey right across the face, and in doing so, slaps a smile right across mine. Now we see red-haired queen getting knocked down and these men try to rape her. Okay, I take back what I said earlier about wanting to be friends with these people. But then the Hound shows up and absolutely slaughters these guys. Except he lets this one guy live. You see that guy standing in the corner there? Why didn't he kill him? They must be old friends or something. Also, I love the Hound. He's got this really tough exterior, but on the inside, he's super nice, sweet, heroic. He's a great dude. We cut to Legolas Queen and Karth. Deep Voice is telling Legolas Queen that she should marry him? I think that's what he's saying. Dude, you've known Legolas Queen for 2 episodes. Slow your roll. Plus, you're not her nephew, so she's not interested. Fancy Man shows up and Legolas Queen tells him she's going to take over the 7 kingdoms. All she needs are ships to cross the sea, and she says she'll pay Fancy Man back for them once she takes the throne. Fancy Man is a businessman, so he tells Legolas Queen that he needs his ships for his spice trading. He goes through all the reasons why he shouldn't trust Legolas Queen with his ships. She has no allies, she has no army, and she has no money. Just like me. Legolas Queen tells Fancy Man that she walked into a fire and didn't get hurt, and that should make her trustworthy enough to get his boats. But of course, Fancy Man says no. I'm usually much more of a romantic than this, but why isn't Legolas Queen just marrying Deep Voice? He's the richest guy in Karth. She needs ships. He's clearly down to marry her. People in the show get married for things other than love pretty much all the time. This seems like a slam dunk. We cut back to young sad girl cleaning up Daddy Lannister's table, and she sees a note with Sexy Jawline Guy's name on it. But then Daddy Lannister walks in. He tells young sad girl that Handsome Man in Armor is dyslexic, and then he starts asking her about who her dad was. Young sad girl lies and says that he was a stonemason. Oh, come on, young sad girl. If you're gonna lie, at least say he was a drummer or something cool. Young sad girl asks Daddy Lannister if he knew his father, and while he talks about his dad, young sad girl grabs the note. She goes outside and reads it, and then runs back into the castle, but bumps into that illiterate guy from earlier. He grabs the note from her, and young sad girl lies and says it's a note for the armory. He can't read the note, but he still doesn't believe young sad girl, so he tries to grab her and she runs away. She finds third person guy and tells him to kill the illiterate guy. We see the illiterate guy walk into Daddy Lannister's office and immediately drop dead from a dart in his neck. Third person guy is like a death genie. We cut to Sexy Jawline Guy walking through his camp. He walks up to his wife, who he just met 2 episodes ago, and they get to flirting. But the flirting comes to an abrupt end when Mama Stark walks up. She meets Sexy Jawline Guy's wife, and Sexy Jawline Guy's wife seems to be really secretive about her family. She walks away, and Mama Stark already knows that Sexy Jawline Guy is totally crushing on this girl. She tells Sexy Jawline Guy that he can't be going around flirting and falling in love because he has to marry one of Filch's daughters. Yeah, and when you don't marry one of his daughters, definitely don't bring your wife to his castle and rub it in his face. And how poetic. As they're talking about Sexy Jawline Guy's obligation to Filch, Angry Eye's dad shows up with a note from Winterfell. Every time that I see Sexy Jawline Guy with his wife, my heart just breaks. They were gonna have such a beautiful baby together. That baby was gonna be like a supermodel. A little sexy baby. We cut back to Bastard King and Savage Lady on their first date, which is walking in the freezing cold with a rope attached to them. You know, a classic first date. Bastard King can't find his friends, so he and Savage Lady decide it's time to go to sleep. Savage Lady tells Bastard King they'll be warmer if they sleep close together, and Bastard King takes that to mean that it's cuddle time. He spoons Savage Lady and she starts rubbing her butt on him. This is kind of adorable. I'm finally starting to like this couple. It's too bad I saw Savage Lady die like a month ago. We cut back to Sexy Jawline Guy reading the letter that says Green Eyed Guy took Winterfell. Angry Eye's dad offers to send Angry Eyes with an army to retake Winterfell, and I think that's exactly what happens. And that's why Angry Eyes and Green Eyed Guy have that weird arc together later in the show. We cut into Green Eyed Guy's bedroom and he's talking to Angry Lady. She takes off her clothes and tells Green Eyed Guy that she wants to be free from Winterfell. And Green Eyed Guy is like, "You've got a deal." I definitely think she's up to something though. Maybe she's gonna go take Weird Raven Kid and his brother to that hiding spot that we we see them in episode 8. We cut to Peter Dinklage's girlfriend cleaning Red-Haired Queen's wounds. Red-Haired Queen says that she hates Jeffrey more than any of those people in the riot, so Red-Haired Queen must really trust her. Then we jump back to Angry Lady leaving Green-Eyed Guy's room. A guard stops her and she seduces him and slits his throat. She whistles and Groot walks out with the two Stark boys and they walk away together. Nailed it. Surely this is the end of the episode. Oh, no it's not. We cut to Legolas Queen talking to Deep Voice. She's still having no luck getting those ships, and Deep Voice is like, again, I'd like to articulate that I am the richest man in Karth. So, you know. They walk into a room and all of Legolas Queen's friends are dead. She runs upstairs and her dragons are gone. We cut to a hooded figure walking away carrying a big box full of screeching baby dragons. And then the episode ends. Holy cow. So that person with the box of dragons killed like 12 guards and stole the dragons single-handedly? How? Actually, you know what? In episode 8, Scar Guy tells Legolas Queen that a warlock has her dragons. So that person must be a warlock, which explains how they can kill 12 people so easily, right? I'm guessing that when Green-Eyed Guy wakes up from his sex slumber, he sees some sort of fire, because in episode 8, he thinks that the Stark boys died in a fire. So episode 7 must start with a fire. That's my big guess for season 2, episode 7. There's a fire. This episode jumped around a lot, but I don't think I was ever really confused by anything. It helps that I'd already seen 3 episodes from this season before I watched this one. This episode was pretty good. I mean, nothing crazy happened. There was a riot, I guess, but I liked that Jeffrey got poop thrown at him. I liked that Peter Dinklage slapped Jeffrey in the face. I like seeing Bastard King and Savage Lady get nice and close. I'll give this episode a 7 out of 10. Let's reach into these boxes and see which episode I'm going to watch next. Season 6, Episode 8, Season 1, Episode 2, Season 5, Episode 1, Season 4, Episode 3, and last but not least, Season 2, Episode 7. So those are the options for the next episode that I'm gonna watch. Should be a poll right here, little box up in the corner. Click on that. Vote for which episode you'd like me to watch next. Here's a graphic to show you which episodes I've already seen to help you make your decision. Some of you guys have been so nice to me and have supported me on Patreon, so it's time to do the shoutouts. Yes, I am still doing these, I just didn't do it on the Lost episode because I didn't know if you guys would hate it or not. You guys seem to think it was okay, right? I don't know, I'm really self-conscious about everything. My life is misery. Okay, it's not misery, I'm pretty happy. I wouldn't go that far. Anyways, here we go. Thomas Fluffykins. Thomas, Fluffykins isn't your real last name. I say this every week about someone's name. That's not a real name. And if it is your real name, you probably got bullied like crazy when you were a kid. Fluffykins? It's a fun name. I'm glad that you call yourself that, but if that was your real name, you would have gotten noogies out the wazoo as a child. Thank you, Thomas. Jim O'Donnell. Now this, on the other hand, is such a real name. Jim, you have a very normal name. Jim O'Donnell? You're giving me nothing to work with here. Jim O'Donnell. Your name is so normal that if it were a sex position, it would be missionary. I'm gonna roast your name real quick. Your name is so normal that if it were a city in Illinois, it would be Normal. That's the name of a city in Illinois. And I'm bad at roasting, but thank you for the support, Jim, and your normal name. Angel Sans. Angel Sans. That kind of sounds like a font, like you know how there's like Comic Sans? Am I saying that right? Comic Sans? Your name's kind of like that, except it would be really beautiful font. Like the O's would have wings and the T's would have a halo. Oh, I don't know what I'm saying. Thank you, Angel. Sean Boudreau. Boudreau. That's a sexy last name, Sean. It kind of sounds like boudoir, which I think means like a woman's bedroom. So congratulations on having a really sexy name, Sean. And thank you for the support. David Swanson. David Swanson. You know in Dumb and Dumber, the love interest's last name is Swanson? Did you guys ever watch Dumb and Dumber like every month when you were a kid? Me neither. That's crazy. That movie's not even that good. Actually, that movie holds up. I watched it like 2 years ago and I still laughed pretty hard. Anyways, David, that doesn't really have anything to do with you. It's just you share a last name with one of the characters, but thank you so much for the support. If you want to support me on Patreon, there is a link in the description below, and I'm going to put a button at the end of the video click on the button. Check out my Patreon page. If you watch my videos every week and you really look forward to them, maybe throw me $1 a month or something. I don't know, you don't have to, but it'd be nice. That extra money I make on Patreon really helps me put these videos out because it kind of turns it into a part-time job instead of a hobby that takes up all my free time. So maybe check it out. I don't know, you don't have to do it. You do whatever you want. Don't listen to me. Who am I? Okay, bye.